Hey, Coach, how's it going?
Everything good. How you doing, Ira?
I'm good. Hey, you guys, you have a lot of returning guys, but then you also brought in these transfers, and I know you also have a young player in as well. What's the competition been like between those guys? Because so a lot of those guys you brought in have obviously played a lot of football at their former schools. So what's that been like so far?
I'll tell you what, all four, including Kevin Knowles, the true freshman, have been a great addition to the room. Jarquez, he's currently right now out and not physically going. But Jamie Robinson, he brought a great competitive edge to the group that has been really, really good. He's playing for us the nickel position. His experience in the conference and the school that he's coming from has really added value to the secondary. The thing with Jamie is continuing to progress to pursue the ball and play with a controlled, competitive edge. That's my message to him right now. But I'm so glad that we have him, and I look forward to him continuing to get better each and every day. Bam Moore has been a great addition to the corner position as well. Every day he's, putting emphasis on getting better fundamentally in everything that he does. When he came in, he had a tendency to play high. I see him, being intentional with correcting that. He's gotten a lot better in the press technique at the line. He got to continue to work on just winning his leverage and understanding split recognition. And that comes with time. But again, athletically, experience-wise, he's been a great addition. Kevin knows this kid is mature beyond his years. He's a kid that makes the future here at Florida State a lot brighter with his mindset, with his mentality, with the mindset and approach that he have each and every day. If I didn't know he was a freshman, I wouldn't know that he was or think that he was just by watching the way he go about business. He's still learning to play up to speed. Obviously the tempo that we have here at Florida State is 10 times more than what he's used to. But again, he's acclimated well and continues to show up every day to get better.
Hey, Marcus, how's it going?
I'm good. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, thanks. So you mentioned Brandon Moore and what he's brought to the table and kind of learned some things technically as a cover corner. But it seems like every time we've been out at practice, he has at least one big hit. What has he brought to the table in terms of run support, physicality, things like that?
It's been really good. I've been pleasantly surprised with, his physicality. He reads and reacts with the best of them. And, he got an instinct about him that you can't coach. And that's the one thing I like about him. Again, for him, the same thing, is just pursuing the ball and straining each and every play. His loaf count needs to decrease each and every day. That's my message for him. As far as the athlete and the mindset when it comes to playing the game, I like it. He just got to continue to work on meeting the standard as far as straining to the ball that we have here at Florida State.
Hey, Marcus. Jarvis Brownlee is a guy who, especially as the year went on last year, we saw play more and more and really start, I think, the last couple of games of the year. How has he built on that early this offseason from what you've seen?
He's picked up right where he left off at the end of last season and even gotten better. The main thing with Jarvis is the intangible side of things that I wanted to see him get better at. Be who we need to be as a group in terms of the mindset and approach day in and day out. Jarvis has progressed as a better leader, and that's what we needed for him to do. In terms of the playmaking ability, he's a natural football player. He plays with natural knee bend. He's fundamentally sound with everything that he does because he makes that a priority with the way that he plays. With him, the biggest growth has been his leadership, and he got to continue to just work on that each and every day and be consistent with what the group need to look like. And I'm excited about where he's at right now.
I feel like we're probably going to end up going through the entire depth chart, but Jarian Jones is another guy that when we've been out there, it seems like he's made some nice plays. How far has he come? And was he not as healthy last season, and how far has he come over the last year?
Yeah, he was banged up quite a bit throughout the season last year, but he did fight through it. You know, Jarian is a kid that is everything you want athletically in a corner. The thing I continue to emphasize with him is just being consistent with his technique each and every play. You know, one play he'll be great technique-wise, and the next play he'll come back and, just be sloppy with his footwork. And, the more that he can continue to be consistent each and every play, the more productive he's going to be. When he's fundamentally sound on a play and it comes his way, he makes the play. But when he gets sloppy with his footwork and, doesn't pay attention to details in terms of split recognition, leverage, and everything that goes with it, is when he doesn't make the play. So consistency is the key for Jarian. But again, he adds a lot of value to the group, and I'm continuing to see him progress each and every day. But consistency, again, is what I want to see out of him mainly.
Hey, Marcus, I want to ask you about, since we're going through the depth chart, as I pointed out, I want to ask you about Travis Jay. And I know last season he was not 100%. And what's it like to have him fully healthy now? And where have you seen him grow because he's able to play at 100%?
Absolutely. Again, Travis is a stud in terms of what you want in the free safety in his defense. I'm going to continue to challenge him to be the quarterback of the secondary. You be the one to communicate, get guys lined up. Volume reflect confidence. And I want him to continue to work on just his mental quickness in terms of formation recognition, the adjustment that may come from it based on the huddle call, and just being confident with telling everybody what we're going to play that down. So that's the main thing with Travis. Once he get his cleats in the grass and is set and ready to play, he can play with the best of them. Obviously the future is bright with him. But again, just in terms of taking ownership with being that quarterback on defense is what I want to see from him. So I continue to just challenge him with that daily. I see him getting better, but he's not quite there yet. Hopefully he is by April 10th for the spring game.
Coach, what are you hoping, or what do you think will be maybe a difference in the way you guys are able to cover this season? Is it teaching different techniques? Is it teaching differently, or improve confidence from your players?
Well, the main thing is consistency. They got a good understanding in terms of what the expectation is. Fatigue at times can force you to lose attention to detail if you don't make it a priority. And overall, as a group, just the consistency, every down. If we play 100 snaps, it need to happen 100 snaps to the point to where, the attention to detail is where it need to be. That's the main thing with this group. It's just consistency from top to bottom, and improving our attention to detail even when we get tired, because that's our world that we live in. We got to be able to process and rely on our technique and fundamentals when we do get fatigued, because we don't substitute a lot, play in and play out like the receiver groups do. So, we got to continue to just put a priority on consistency from a fundamental standpoint, even when we get fatigued.
Awesome.
Hey there, Coach. Hope you're doing well. Just wanted to ask you again about Kevin Knowles and how impressed you've been with him and his maturity. What do you think he needs to do to, improve on, maybe to get on the field this fall?
Well, if we lined up and played tomorrow, which, thank God we don't have to, but, he's going to be right there in the mix. He's a kid that, came in. Obviously, having him here in the spring is going to give him a huge advantage going into the fall. He'll have a good understanding of the expectation as far as the tempo and how fast the game is played at this level by going through the spring. But Kevin is exactly what you want. He's the epitome of the nickel position in his defense. He's picking up the scheme of things really well from a mental aspect. The main thing with him is just getting acclimated to the speed. And once he does, he's going to be a big-time player. And again, the future is bright having Kevin here.
Coach, I know you can really only concern yourself with the guys that are out there that you can actually coach, but how are the guys staying engaged that are not out there right now, whether it's Akeem, Renardo, Mako? I know Demori is out now as well. Just, I'm sure those guys are in your plans down the road, but they're not able to practice right now. How do you kind of keep them engaged, and what are you seeing from them, I guess, in the classroom?
Yeah, that's a really good question. That group has done a really good job. The thing that, as a group that we've grown is that you see guys coaching, helping the guys that are new to what we're doing. You see them out there coaching. Renardo Green, I call him Coach Green right now because each and every time I look around, he's coaching and in somebody's ear just kind of telling them what they should have done or what they did good. Miko Dotson is the same way. Miko is really sharp. One of the best things that he has as a football player is just his awareness and savviness. And again, he continues to help the young guys, the new guys, in terms of what we're doing from a schematic standpoint. Akeem is someone that I continue to challenge to get more involved while he's not on the field. So I want to continue to see him be more consistent in that area as well. So he's hot and cold at times in terms of being involved and engaged, and I want to see him get better at that. But overall, I'm pleasantly surprised with the guys that are not going, just being engaged with what we're doing. So that only makes us better. So I'm excited about what I've seen so far. Just got to get some guys to continue to come along in that area.
For the last one.
Coach, when we talked to Coach Dugans the other day, he mentioned that he was a little concerned at the start of spring with some of his young guys, some of his freshmen going up against some of your older dudes in one-on-one drills and things like that. But he felt like they responded pretty well. Are they giving your group what you need to see? How's that competition been with that receiver group?
Absolutely. I'll tell you what, man, Malik McClain, Josh Burrell, among others, those guys have a competitive edge that has challenged us as a group, so it's just not a walk in the park for the guys that's been here and the older guys in the secondary. Those young guys have made some plays, and the more competitive they get at practice, the better it makes both sides. So I've been really impressed with what I've seen from those young receivers up until this point. And again, they challenge us each and every day from a physicality standpoint, from a route running standpoint. And I know Coach Dugans, he's going to look like a really good coach once those guys continue to get reps now, because the future is bright with those young guys. And, they make us better each and every day. So the lack of experience hadn't really hurt them up until this point from what I've seen, because at times I look up and it's a young guy. And they run a route like it's a guy that has experience. So again, the competition each and every day is only going to get both sides better.
Okay, thanks, Coach.